Hey guys, thanks for visiting the Lapidary channel. My name's Faithy, my sister Emma, she's over there. I don't know, I don't like being on camera, so I'll make this quick. Well, today we're going to do another rock video, as usual. That's all mamas do. Half the time she leaves us off camera. So, I'm just a little camera shy, I apologize about that. Well, if you'd like to visit our website and buy some cool rocks, I'm sure I can get a couple new bucks. So, links in the description below. Thanks, guys. Here's the video.
Good afternoon, guys. So I thought I would just do a quick little video. I don't work on many of these kind of solid. This is actually a 16-inch, and they got the fiberglass tubs on them. It's an oldie, but customer just dropped it off for repair. And I don't know. I thought I would do a video on it. They're kind of a neat saw. They, like I said, it's a 16, but the feed over here actually works on a cam and a tensioning system. So if you ever have these, by the way, don't ever touch this spring here, right here. That's to a preset. And what it does, it goes up and down. And if you look, every time you push it up and down, it indexes. So each time that goes down, it indexes it so much, so it works on the timing. So very, very simple saw, but it's kind of, that's really neat. But a customer brought it in because the previous owner had used water in this machine and everything just got kind of, you know, kind of messed up. So he took the blade off, actually bead blasted the sides and then totally resharpened the blade. That actually took me an hour. The blade was pretty bad. The vise, I cleaned this up a lot, and I mean a lot already, but the vise is totally froze up. Like this back part of the jaw here is completely froze, so it's not necessary. The customer doesn't want to spend the money to have the whole thing taken apart because we'd have to take the whole carriage out to bead blast the entire carriage and make it look pretty. What we're trying to do is get functionality. So this here is like really, it's bad. And that part needs to be able to slide freely. So we're going to take that off and just bead blast this part and then go through and resurface this. I scrubbed away some of the rust with a brush. And now I'm just going to go through and resurface this just so it's smooth for them. Timing and everything looks good on it. And the stop over here needs some work to it. This doesn't have a cross slide mechanism, so it doesn't have a micrometer over there that you turn to move your carriage over. You have to loosen up the rock each time, and you slide it over to whatever you set the stop at in there. So it's a very rudimentary type of way that they engineered this thing. And they did that for cost. And they're, you know, they're hobbyist saw, but they're still a pretty good saw. So bearings have some life in them. They're a little loud, but with as much as they cut, it's not going to be an issue. And then just go through, clean it up, grease it up, and make sure she's all good and running. And alright, we are back a couple hours later here. And so basically what I did was I tore this apart, tore the carriage apart. You can see that's all not shiny, but all not, you know, free of rust. So I bead blasted that. The front of the vise here, actually the entire thing, this front jaw of it, and then went through and resurfaced and just removed all this rust. It was really built up. It was built up probably a 1/16 of an inch thick on this, and just enough that, you know, it's going to free, you know, it's going to move nice and freely in there. So if you loosen this up, you see it moves finally. It's alive. That was the whole object. Before that thing wouldn't move. So I did that, resurfaced the blade. The stop over here, there's no cross slide on the carriage, so you loosen the fine adjustment nut up on this, and you slide the rock over till it hits the preset length. That thing was totally roached. It would not move at all. So this little bar stock here, or piece of flat stock, is actually threaded. So I got a new 1/4 bolt, put it in with 2 nuts, and then I preset it to around a 1/4 of an inch cuts. And that's about it. And played with the timing here just a little bit. It was off just a smidgen. And I poured oil in the bottom of it, and I had the plug in the bottom of it because they're no longer using the old pump system on this. So I want to make sure that holds, because they had some sealant around the bottom of the drain. So I don't want to send it back to them and then, you know, they have it leaking or anything like that. So she's just about ready. I went through, checked out the hood. The hood's actually in great shape. Surprising shape. The whole saw really is for its age. But I was shocked at how nice this is. And I cleaned this up. And I just took all the junk off it because I wanted to check and see if there were any cracks. And as soon as if you have plastic hoods on these guys, as soon as they crack, fix them. Don't let them get bad. Fix them right away, because otherwise they just, you know, you lose the hood. And I don't even know where you'd be. Well, you'd have to custom make a hood today. So I'm going to do a test cut. I got to put a little bit more oil in it. But I want to do a test cut. I already let it run for quite a while and did a cycle, allowed the vise to come all the way down. And everything seems to be working now. But I want to do a test cut in there. And just a junk rock. And make sure it's okay. And this guy will be done. So it took, I don't know how many hours. A little bit more than a few. But she's done. It came a long way from what it was today. So, alright guys, maybe I'll turn it on once I'm cutting. Okay, so this is how this saw works. Since there's no knob on the side there to move the carriage over, what you have to do, it's pretty simple, is you're going to push down and slide that forward, and that unlocks the split nut. You're going to drag it back. Now, only when you're taking your rock in and out do you loosen or tighten this. So what you would do is, say you're putting your rock in there, you'd loosen this up, put your rock in where you want it, close it, and just hold it together, tighten that down. Doesn't have to be super tight, just tighten it down enough. And then you use this your fine adjustment here, you know, to give it the rest of the tightening. Now, between slabs, when you're cutting these, you're just going to take a wrench, preferably use a box wrench instead of an adjustable, but that's what I got over here right now. So you're just going to loosen that up. Mind you're not touching the bottom, and you're going to slide this over until it hits the stop. Then you're going to come in, tighten this up, and just snug it up. It doesn't have to be super tight. And there you go. Put your hood back on and start cutting. And we'll flip her on. That's only a, you know, half-inch thick butt cut that we're cutting through. We're just doing this cycle to make sure timing's working. Everything's, you know, cycling good through. But that's actually, that native copper lightning stone is what that stuff is right now. This stuff is really hard. So I wanted to use something really hard for the first cut. Given how dull that blade was, but now it's sharp as a razor. It's slicing right through there like butter. So as long as they keep this sharp, you know, every maybe 100, 200 slabs, depending on, you know, what kind of material they're cutting, that blade will last them for many years. So guys, there's no need to ever buy a new blade if you can still see diamond, that rim on there, like the teeth, the segments on your diamond blade is still good. It doesn't matter how bad it looks, as long as those segments are on, it's still good. This thing was completely roached out, rusted out. I mean, it was probably never sharpened, but it still has about 80% of the white to the on the segments. It's just it was glazed over so bad that we had to really, you know, really get in there and sharpen the heck out of it. But now that we're running oil through, I did go through and clean up the bearings. The bearings were kind of dried out. you know, they had a lot of rust in there, so I took a PV blaster and then removed the rust, and then re-greased the bearings. But now that everything's getting oil flowing through it, the saw's actually quieted down substantially, actually. It's always going to be a loud saw, because these are plastic bodies. You know, Hillquist made, you know, I guess it's plastic. It's either plastic or fiberglass. They're pretty thick, actually, though, the plastic. But being that it's a plastic saw and it's not a metal body on it, it's going to be substantially, you know, louder because it's going to transfer that sound, unlike metal. So we're just about done. And I'll show you guys at the end here. I'll come back on. Alright, so she's cut through. I'll take the hood off and I'll show you guys. So now, mind you, I'm cutting butt cuts, but there you go. That's a 1/4 inch thick. Whoop. It actually, a little slabette, you know, it's not even a slabette. It's a butt cut. I was slicing some off the end, but this stuff's actually really hard stuff. But she said about a 1/4 inch. It's about right in there. And I don't know what happened to the other little pieces, but nonetheless, I'll find them when I drain it. So there you go, guys. It went from being inoperable to it actually cuts really, really nice now. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. If you guys require any repairs or anything like that, no matter how big or small, for your lapidary equipment, feel free to message me on Facebook at Hilmer's Fine Minerals, or you can always visit our website at www.hilmersfineminerals.com. Thanks, guys, and you have a great night. Alright, so here she is. A long way. So when we got this on, just to give you guys an overview today, it was inoperable, mainly because of the vise. The vise was completely froze. I think he tried to cut a rock in it, he said, and it wouldn't cut. But I think he tried to use some wooden blocks to kind of like wedge it, because it was just, well, it was actually completely rusted to the base. Stop was gone, so everything I went over and a little bit more here. But so here's a test cut. All this is, it's a big old butt cut in there that'll run through first, and make sure everything's out of the way. Got my tools laying out yet. So here we go. Just finally coming up and hitting a rock. And she's cutting. I can see rock dust being thrown over there. Now what we did was, this typically uses a reservoir, and the Hillquist use a reservoir, and it pumps oil in from a reservoir down that they have on the floor with a pump, and it shoots it through those 2 copper pipes over there in the back. What we did was, the previous owner, I think, to this actually bypassed it, and he put a drain plug in the bottom of it, and he just used it like how you would any other slab saw. You fill up the reservoir in the bottom. I think it's a pretty smart idea. My customer, he had toyed around with the idea of us putting in a pump for him in a reservoir and stuff like that. And, you know, you're looking at quite a few $100 really for no reason. This will work just as good. I can see, as long as you're getting that nice bead of oil that it's throwing down there, you're in gold. So the blade, though, it was beyond dull. Like dull. It was way past the point of sharpening with a file. So we'll see how it cuts here in a second. She should be. Oh, there you go. It just actually cut through. I think it did. It's got a little knotty on the top. We'll let it go through. And I'll reset it to that stop. Now if there's a flat spot, I'll reset it to that stop. And I'll show you guys how these work. They're a little bit different. So once this is over with, I'll turn it back on and I'll show you guys.